Now I'm okay. Yeah, when everything updates. So I had to run a Windows update today. So anyway, I'll get into that in a little bit. But welcome to Mondays with Max. I was not muted. It was just the fact that OBS did not have the correct microphone selected. In fact, it didn't have a microphone selected at all. So, so glad you guys all could make it. Anyway, let's do a quick rundown of everybody that's here. I see there's quite a few people here. Cherish Crypto Hunter, thank you for being a member. Kyle Rosa, Bacon, Eggs, and Hash. You guys were here early. Crypto Perks, thank you for being a member. Crypto Crag, Second TL Mining, Hobbyist, good to see you. Dakota Miner, All Set Miner, the Mining King, and thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. I think I already said All Set Miner, but thank you for being a member. Patrick Murphy, Viper Mining, Golden Wolf. Let's see who else is here and has, and Crypto Tito, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. And 4J, High Low Crypto. 4J, thank you for being a member. And the Pirate. You know, I do need to check that out. I saw your comment and saw somebody else comment on that. Yeah, I'm hoping my IP changes are done, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Jeffkey, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Let's see. Who else have I not hit on yet? Gaming with Smokey Dan, good to see you. Kia Enigma Adventures, thank you for being here. I always get screwed up on that one. Hot Crypto Mining, good to see you. Cook 4015. Let's see here. K Trim. Blue Dragon Mining. Automatic Beats. Alexander Fleener. Your Ursa Prime. Rays Mining. Galaxy 9 Synthesis. And Taines, thank you for being here. Steven Cicero, thank you for being here and being a member. Geek of All Trades, good to see you. I appreciate that. Mondays suck, but Max's stream makes it better than a mean cup of cocoa. I don't know. I don't know if I could top a mean cup of cocoa, but I appreciate that. Dr. Jafar Cali. Let's see. If I missed you, I apologize. Oh, B, there's one. I just noticed that one like jumped down. Kyle Rosa, Nick Roberts, Tech Man, good to see you. Chuck Danger, good to see you. Been fun playing StarCraft and COD with you. And I'm going to call that good. I think I got everybody. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Oh, Patrick Guyan. There we go. The last one. Appreciate you guys all being here. Anyway, alrighty. Well, yeah, it was interesting time over the last few days for my nodes. It was a bit frustrating to say the least. So take you through a little bit of it. So Thursday, I don't even remember how I noticed, but I noticed my nodes were down. And I'm like, crap, my nodes are down. And it looked like all of my nodes were down when I was checking out, using Second TL's tool. So I was messing around with things, trying to figure things out. And in the end, what I figured out was the IP address had changed. So in the meantime, I'd kind of been messing with some things, finally figured it out. Got it all straightened out, got all my nodes back up and running. But unfortunately, the one that was due to pay out like in a couple of hours, it died. Went all the way to the back of the line. That sucks. So that was very, very, very frustrating. But got it up and running. I actually And actually in that particular one, it locked up my node. It basically locked me out of SSH access, and UPnP didn't work. So rebooting it, doing whatever, it would not come up, and I could not get access to it. So I ended up taking that node and putting it on my Proxmox server because I had one more spot left on it, and got it back up and running the next day on Friday, and everything was good. Fast forward to that was Thursday. Fast forward to Saturday, and my nodes go down again. The IP address had changed yet again. I was none too happy. So it took 2 out of my 7 nodes down. And anyway, sorry, Mining King, thank you for the $2 super chat. Xfinity Internet is my favorite ISP. Yeah. Well, like I said, we'll go into that a little bit more specifically. But anyway, IP address had changed yet again. So again, causing things to get all flustered. So 2 out of my 7 went down. Again, I'd figured out that using the second TL tool, that if your IP address changes and it makes it look like everything goes down, it's because it doesn't recognize the new IP address until the next maintenance period is over, and then it will show the new IP address. So just because it doesn't show the new IP address doesn't mean that it's down. So you have to go into the Flux OS and really see whether or not your benchmark had passed and if it's operating properly. So I figured that out. I learned that on Thursday when I had the problem. So now I knew it going forward that was an issue. Second TL, thank you very much for the Australian $20. Congrats winning the Flux having hash rate bet. We'll talk about that in a little bit too. But anyway, so got it back up and running, but I'm irritated. So I'm like, all right, well, I got plenty of time in the car. On the way back, I will call Comcast. Yeah, that wasn't a very smart idea. Anyway, so I'm on the phone with them for an hour, and I'm getting more and more displeased at their inability to even understand what I'm asking. They just are completely clueless as to what an IP address is, evidently, because when so we're like over a half hour into the conversation. So she's like, so you want your IP address changed? I'm like, no, I don't want my IP address changed. I want it to stop. Don't change it anymore. I said, I had the same IP address for years until October when they made some updates, and then my IP address changed. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. They did some updates. They probably connected me a little bit differently in their network. Makes sense. And I had the same IP address for the last 5 months since they made those changes until Thursday, then Saturday, and then Sunday. While I'm on the phone with them, it happens again. While I'm on hold, waiting to get a manager. And anyway, so I get the manager and I'm like, what are you guys doing over there? This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Why are you guys changing my IP address? Well, you know, it's dynamic IP. It can change. I'm like, I understand it can change, but it has reasons for changing. And I haven't had any of those reasons for changing. My modem has not, been power cycled. None of that. It shouldn't be anyway. So what's going on? I said, well, I can tell you right now what happened, because I actually saw it happen because I lost connection with my home PC while some of this was going on. And I realized, yeah, they had power cycled my modem. Not only that, I found out this morning, they didn't just power cycle it, they removed bridge mode from it. So that was really screwing with my networking. Thankfully, I actually didn't really see much of a difference, but I know that having double net is not a good thing if you can avoid it. So anyway, so I ended up, they were supposed to call me back within 24 hours. Shocker. I didn't get a phone call. I'm just so surprised that I didn't get a phone call from Xfinity when they promised that I was going to get not just one, but 2 phone calls. I was going to get a call from that manager supervisor, and I was going to get a call from tech support. And lo and behold, I got none, zero, zilch. So I will have to find some time to call tomorrow after I get off of work. And because I won't have time, I didn't have time to do it today. Too many other things I needed to do, including getting it back into bridge mode, starting all of my nodes so that they came back up. And hey, now I've gotten good at it. I know what to do when the IP address changes. But anyway, it's been extremely, extremely frustrating when Xfinity appears like they just want to make things difficult. Again, very, very frustrating. All right. Pineapple Pizza, thank you for the super chat. Had Rosati's today. You suggested it. It is the best Chicago deep dish I have ever had, and I've had a few. Thanks for the suggestion. No, it did not have pineapple. I would certainly hope not. Certainly couldn't call it Chicago deep dish with pineapple. Yikes. But anyway, yes, it is a very well, I don't know, it's pretty well kept secret that they have really, really good Chicago deep dish. It's similar to all the others. I mean, they're not like that much different, but it's really, really good. Really, really good. And a lot more available than, the other, well-known Chicago deep dishes like Lou Malnati's, Gino's East, Giordano's. I mean, Rosati's is like everywhere, it seems like. So, anyway, but yeah, so tonight, actually, like I said, I put it into bridge mode. It changed the IP address yet again when I did that, and had to get them back up and running, but I was able to get them back up and running. All right, let me see if I can look at some people that have tagged me. Let's see here. Crypto spends 10 minutes saying hi to everyone. Love this guy. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of always think it's one of the reasons why I got to get right into it. Otherwise, there's too many people to say hi to. Anyway, Geek of All Trades. I am fine tuning my NVIDIA rig, Megatron for Nexa solo mining. Man, I got to say I have missed this. Yeah, I'm actually debating on doing some Caspa solo mining, because I'm looking at my Caspa pool and it shows me when my rigs have gotten actually have gotten the block themselves, and I'm like, some days I'm getting like 4, some days I'm getting 0, some days I'm getting 1 or 2, but I don't know. I may play around with that and actually do some Caspa solo mining as well. But yeah, fine tuning is definitely fun. I've got 3 rigs now, triple mining, so I'm definitely enjoying that. And then I also have 1 rig, my AMD rig, which is mining Raven coin right now. Joker Miner, tax is still not fixed. Sorry about that, man. Hopefully Koinly will give you, the support that you need. Not hit on A. Yeah, I know what you're referring to. I remember I said something, I was kind of like, well, that sounded kind of odd. But anyway, Steven Cicero says, time to move those nodes to a Terra hosting. I know a guy who can get you a good deal. Crypto mining. Yes, the thought crossed my mind, but I enjoy the challenge. As frustrated as I can get with it all. I learn every time something goes wrong. I learn, and that's, to me, that's the beauty of it. That's the key. I want to continue to, as I go through life, continue to learn, and it definitely allows me to do that. Gaming with Smokey Dan's, that does suck, but glad was an easy-ish fix. Yes, the first time it went down, it was not an easy fix because I was beating my head against a wall. Basically, I was trying to get it up and running quickly, and for some reason, my first install on the Proxmox server of the one that had gone down and wouldn't come back up, it would not download the Bootstrap. And I'll go into this a little bit. Some of the things I've learned of how to best do things with loading Flux and the order to do things. And again, I continue to learn, best practices with managing Flux nodes as I go. But yeah, the Bootstrap just would not download. It would get from anywhere from 40 to 80% and then just die. And it doesn't restart. It's not like you can restart it from where it stopped. So I finally decided I'm gonna stop beating my head against a wall the following day and just wiped it and just redid it. And at that point, the installation went flawless. So anyway, alrighty. Scrolling down, Geek of All Trades. I had a Windstream rep ask me what DNS was. I hung up on him. Yeah, that, yeah, that's exactly the frustration I had. And the supervisor at least had some level of knowledge. And he's like, we just don't handle that kind of thing here. We're level 1. We do the basic stuff. I'm like, that's great. So what happens if my internet's completely down? I have to wait until tomorrow to get anybody to look at it. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't believe that. There's a level 2, level 3 for certain things. So if you want to tell me that you're not willing to get them, or you're not allowed to get them involved in something like this, that's fine. But don't tell me that you don't have level 2 or level 3. I was really annoyed at the end of the conversation. That's for sure. Steven Cicero said the gateway router could have gone down and you got moved to another gateway. It's possible. It's possible. But 4 times in little over 72 hours, it's a bit much for them to change it that much. Anyway, hopefully now that it's back to bridge mode, hopefully it will not change. Allset Miner says, how's your Zill experience? It's actually been fine. I mean, I haven't really paid that close attention, like to profitability. I've kind of just looked at it as a little frosting on top, I guess, a little bit extra that you get. The main things I'm getting out of is Caspa and Ergo. So, Geek of All Trades, I have 10 gigahash on Caspa solo and have hit 36 blocks since 1:30:23. Well, that's really interesting because that's the pretty much the exact amount of hash that I have as well on Caspa when I'm triple mining. If I'm only mining Caspa, it goes up to over 12. But yeah, it's 10 gigahash. So interesting. So Geek of All Trades, you're finding it to be more profitable than pool mining? Sounds like it. Integra Guy says, just got done with my taxes. Only took 3 weekends of dedication. Yeah, I have not dedicated that time yet. Hopefully we'll be starting that soon. I always help my kids with their taxes, but their taxes are easy and they're able to, I think, do it themselves this year. So I'm kind of just the guy looking over their shoulder, making sure that if they want, they can do it all on their own if they want, but they usually say, hey, can you take a look at this? Just make sure it looks right. So I'm always willing to do that. And then I also have to do my father's taxes, which are definitely a bit more complicated, but able to do it. And no, don't ask me. I will not do any of your taxes. So I've got my hands full with what I've got. It's not like I enjoy it or anything. Anyway, Chefkey says, I get it. Yeah, I figured you did. I think there's one thing that I haven't done yet, and that's I think it's option 10, where you there's a restart mechanism that you can put into place. And so I'm going to be taking a look at that. Zapirate actually mentioned it earlier, so I'm going to take a look at that, because if the only thing I need to do is restart. In fact, I had put in the Flux community support saying, hey, after like 3 benchmark failures, no matter what the reason, can you just initiate a restart? So anyway, but I'll be taking a look at that option. I think that may be the solution to the problems with the IP address changes, or hopefully, they finally just stop. I mean, I asked them, I'm like, can I just pay for a static IP? And they're like, no, we don't offer that to residential. I'm like, great, thanks, appreciate that. All right, let me look who else tagged me. Max voltage could be all these balloons and flying objects changing up IPs. Hey, that's as good an explanation as any, I guess, at this point. Anyway, Casper the Ghost. No, not Casper the Ghost. Very funny. Cherish says, can you get a Comcast business work from home account? They started offering that here in California. I don't know. I haven't asked, but I will say I have a crazy good deal. So as much as I'm frustrated with Comcast on the technical front, they've been really good to me on the pricing front. I got a really good customer service rep. I called them to say, hey, you know, when are we going to get better internet upload speeds? I saw this thing where it's going to be 2 gig down, 100 meg up. I'm really interested in that. Can you see when we'd be getting it? And she's basically did some searching, was like, hey, I can't really see anything, but what I can see is that it is making a move into your state at least. So it's getting closer to you. So can't say exactly when that's going to happen, but you know, it's moving in the right direction. I'm like, and the company's focused on making that happen. I'm like, okay, cool. She's like, well, how would you like to save $10 a month on your internet? I'm like, oh, I'm listening. She's like, yeah, I'll extend it for 24 months and it's not going to be any contracted rate. You can leave us at any time. I'm like, any catches? Doesn't sound like it. And she's like, no catch. We just really appreciate you as a customer. I'm like, done. She's like, well, how would you like to save another $35? I was like, I'm listening. So then I switched over two of my mobile lines from Verizon over to Comcast. Both my wife and my daughter had Google phones so that they could just port them over, and there hasn't been any change because they're on the same network. So anyway, so I'm paying slightly less, pretty much the same amount, maybe like $2 or $3 less per line than I was paying with Verizon. And I'm saving now $45. So I'm paying $50 a month for 1.2 gig down and about 41 up, 41, 42 up. So anyway, so as much as I don't like Comcast on the technical front, at least they've been treating me right on the cost front. So hopefully they'll be, moving some of those new packages into our area soon. We've definitely been having some upgrades, so hopefully that will be the case. I will say I've been getting more consistent higher speeds than I've gotten in the past. So it's almost like they're not allowing the speeds to go higher, even though the infrastructure allows it. I'm wondering if the backbone hasn't been upgraded yet, so they can't really do it. So anyway, no, Mining King. This is not the General Voltage Tax Services. It's open once a year on June 30th, because that would be completely useless. No, actually it would be completely, actually April 16th wouldn't be completely useless, because then you'd be asking me to do your taxes after you filed an extension. So no. Anyway, let's see here. Gaming with Smokey Dan says, oh no, you already said that. And then you did that. Okay. Maxwell, so Geekball Trade says, yes, based on the numbers from my 30 coins in 30 days, Caspa Day Solo has provided higher yield for sure. Okay. I think I may be checking that out shortly. So appreciate that heads up. Rondi, welcome. And thank you for being a member. I have hit 32 solo Caspa blocks in 48 hours. I'm still running it. Ergo Caspa Cell. Yeah, I mean, I know that it doesn't matter whether you're doing triple mining or not. It's just all about the pool you're mining to. So yeah, I'll definitely, I'll be trying it out. That's for sure. I'm going to try to see if I can set it up in such a way where I can get almost equivalent hash rate for both pool and solo, and see if I can do a comparison that way. Steven Cicero says, I don't know any ISP that offers static IPs for residential. I work for an ISP and we don't. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to say, yes, you have the right to change it, but to change it as much as they have been has just been ridiculous. I understand today when I changed it from non-bridge mode to bridge mode, I expected that change. Totally expected that change. So that's understandable when you make a change like that. But just randomly is, I don't know. It's just crazy. And again, they couldn't give me any answer. There weren't any outages. So I don't know. Anyway, and maybe they're doing stuff with upgrades. Then why don't they just say that? Hey, we're doing some maintenance. They didn't even know. They didn't even think to say that. So at least I know that they weren't lying. I mean, I guess if they just jumped to that right away, I would have thought maybe they were lying. But anyway, Gaming with Smokey Dan. Am trained as a level 1 call support, not worked in it, but the funny stories of people calling saying my cup holder is broken. Turned out the CD drive they were using. My cup holder's broken. Oh, that's ridiculous. Anyway, let's see. Alexander Fleener, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Appreciate it. Dynamic DNS service will help with WAN IP changes. I'm not sure what you mean about that. Expand on that. Geek of all trades, crypto tree. Yes, the crypto tree. He wants to mention it so that it stays up. So actually, we'll be getting an addition to the crypto tree, and that person happens to be here, but I don't want to spoil the surprise. So next Monday, or maybe I'll just do it on Saturday, one of the two, I will be premiering the addition to the crypto tree. So stay tuned for that. All right, where did I go? Patrick Guyan, I have business class at home, which as I understand it has level 3 HD 24/7, no level 1 at all. That's pretty nice. I wish I could get something like that. Cheer says AT&T Fiber offers up to 128 IPs in blocks of 5 on residential. Wow, you can actually get multiple IPs with AT&T Fiber? That would be nice. I would love to get multiple IPs at home. I can dream. I could get triple gig service at my house. Well, they're starting to get to the point where they're getting so close to getting better service here that I won't have to pay the outrageous fee of triple gig. So anyway. Tains, my ISP offers a static IP for $20 a month. Yeah, and that would be reasonable. But again, that's fiber, not cable. So I think that might be part of it, but maybe. Pineapple pizza, crypto Thanksgiving turkey. No, I know. I got it. No, I don't think so. I think we'll stick with the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree. Cherish, yes, 5 IPs for $15 a month. Dang, that's nice. No, he said told you to check your text. It says at Sunflower Mama, check text. Do you have?
But he asked me if my phone, if your phone was next to you.
It is next to me. Hang on. So subtle. Anyway. Oh, his phone. Okay, I see that. All right. I did look at my phone. At any rate. Alrighty. Well, so anyway, so we'll see what happens with Xfinity, but gosh, so frustrating to do something so simple. And maybe, like I said, maybe they are in the midst of maintenance of trying to get things going so that they can offer us the better service. Just say so. They need to communicate with each other. And that's really, to me, that's the biggest fault of Comcast. They do not communicate internally at all. They do not know what's going on. All they should have to do is have a bulletin board. Guy calls in from this area. What's going on in his area? And the bulletin board should be updated. You know, from the service, from the service of that area. It should not be that difficult. But anyway, I'm sure they wouldn't listen to me. All right. Any problems with latency? It does say excellent connection. I know earlier there was a little bit of hiccuping. So hopefully that has gone away. But all right. And then the other thing I was going to talk about, tonight before I go back into the Flux nodes. Was on the way home, I decided I would stream because I was annoyed and wanted to rant and thought you guys might find that entertaining, and then proceeded to almost we did get run off the road. That was no question about that. The person was, like they were just like this far in front of us and just proceeded to move into our lane because they wanted it. And we decided that we would let them have it because we had somewhere to go. We basically had a left-hand turn lane that we could move into. And if you watched it, you know that I hit the horn and just laid on it and got no reaction. None. Person was completely clueless. Completely clueless. So, yeah. Anyway. But yeah, life flashed before my eyes. Well, not really. But it was a thing I could have done without. Definitely got my heart started, that's for sure. So, anyway. Have I tried a spoonful of sugar for the hiccups? Ah, very funny. I don't think that'll do anything for the computer or the stream hiccups. Anyway. Sunflower Mama says he wanted to rant and I was sick of listening to him, so it was y'all's turn to listen. Yeah, I was very frustrated. Well, thank you. That's awesome. I love to hear that. I just don't know why people get so hung up on Christmas trees or lighted trees being up. They're nice decorations, and mine is a crypto tree, which looks really cool. I don't know. I really like it. To me, it looks a lot better than a sticker board. Nothing against anybody that has a sticker board. I'm not saying that. I just think this is a nice difference. Nice thing that looks different. Let's see. Anyway, feed some to the old router, Craig Davis says. Gaming with Smokey Dan says, had that with a double-decker bus, tried to squash me and my dad into a concrete barrier at a set of traffic lights. Yeah, that is never fun. Well, the interesting thing was that basically what would have happened, because either way I was going to hit the brakes and slow down. If I didn't move over, she would have been, like this, and I would have been here and she would have been pushing on me, but I would have pushed back to stay in the lane, and then it would have pushed against her and it would have turned her. And I probably would have proceeded tried to go over to the other lane to get out of her way, but she probably would have flipped. So yeah, I would have had control of the situation. I mean, that car would have been messed up, probably totaled, but anyway you look at it, she was going to be on the losing end of that for doing what she did. But anyway, it is what it is. Thankfully, nobody got hurt. Craig Davis says the alternate is talking nicely to it. Okay. Make sure I pet my router. Is that what you're telling me? I should pet my router like a dog? Anyway. Alrighty. Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the things I've learned in my time with installing and maintaining Flux nodes. So I've had to do a lot of installs with Flux nodes, reinstalls, things like that. And a couple of things I learned over the weekend, basically implemented plus learned over the weekend, were definitely, and Second TL's got a great video on this, learn how to install your watchdog. The watchdog is invaluable. It will give you troubleshooting to figure out what's going on with your nodes. It's definitely very, very helpful. So definitely make sure that you install the watchdog. Most people that I know have a Discord, so setting that up, again, Second TL is a great video on that. Look it up. So that's number one. The second thing is, again, something else Second TL mentioned to me, was to do a config file first. Don't go straight after you do install the Docker. Don't go to number 2, go to number 6. on the multi-tool. And when you go to number 6, you're going to enter in all of your information, including the UPnP information. You're going to be all set. You're going to have all that information entered. And then you go to option 2 and it just runs. And you don't need to worry about it. It just runs. Just sit there and sit back, have a cigar, drink a beer, just wait for it to finish. So now the other thing that I learned over the weekend, because remember I was having problems with the Bootstrap file downloading. So one of the things I learned is there is a way to, I think it's option 4 or 5, I forget which one, but it's to download that Bootstrap file. And you can download, after you install the Docker, you can install or download the Bootstrap file. Now it won't unpack it. So once it has downloaded, Control-C out of it, because, well, you don't even have to Control-Z out of it because it's going to say, hey, I got nowhere to install this thing because you haven't installed Flux OS yet. So it doesn't have the file tree, the file system to actually install it into the folder it needs to be. But it's in a location that Flux OS knows to look for it. So you download the Bootstrap, you do the config file. When you go to 2, it's going to run through things quickly. And then when it gets to the Bootstrap file, it finds it and then it unpacks it and then goes from there. So it really speeds up that process as well. The good thing is that if you're having trouble downloading the Bootstrap, you don't have to keep going through the whole process of installing your Flux OS, because it takes a while to get to that Bootstrap process, probably about 5 or 10 minutes. So it's just a waste of time if you can't get the Bootstrap. So that worked really, really well for me on Friday morning when I installed it. Because that's exactly what I did. I installed the Docker, downloaded the Bootstrap file, because I definitely wanted to make sure I could get that. And I got it and I was like, oh crap, it didn't unpack it. Did it save it? I wasn't sure. But then did number 6, then went back to number 2 and then saw that, yeah, it was there and it just unpacked it and away it went. So it went a lot faster. And for me, that helps you get past any possible problem areas of the install process. You know, where are things going to fail? Can't download the Bootstrap. Making a mistake in your configuration. So let's Control-Z versus screen. I said Control-C in order to stop something, but you really don't even need to do that. It basically faults out saying that it can't unpack it and then goes back to a prompt. So it's really not a problem. But anyway, but that, to me, like I said, Bootstrap is a place where you can run into problems, and your configuration is a place where you can run into problems. Like if you're going through and you put in the wrong thing for your any of your Flux node information and you hit OK, there's no way of going back. You have to start over. So starting over from the configuration option 6, it's a lot faster to do it that way. And like I said, you don't even have to do the UPnP option. That's already in the config in there. So it just goes ahead. So you never have to go to that UPnP specific option. It's all in there. So it's a beautiful thing. So
It says pre-download the Bootstrap using USB drive?
no, you'll save it to the hard drive. So, you know, you have to have a 200 and at least 220 gig of hard drive space for a Flux node. So you're going to download it to your hard drive where you're installing the Flux OS. So, all right. So let me go up and see if I missed any questions. Let's see here. Let's see. Craig Davis for Flux node, is self-hosting okay, you think? I think it is. I mean, we want to be decentralized, right? So if you have good enough upload speed, sure, why not? Like I said, you got to have some patience, but you'll learn. And that's, like I said, that's what I've done. I've learned now, if anything faults, it alerts me. I know how to get things back up and running. I'm able to make suggestions to say, hey, this is the problem I'm having. What do you guys suggest? And like I said, Zapirate said that there is an option 10 that puts a cron job in there that'll restart your node automatically if there's a problem, I think. Anyway, I got to learn more about that. But that's what I'm looking for, is if there is a problem, I want it to restart, because the restart in most cases will resolve the problems that you're mostly having most of the time. Blue Dragon Mine says you should open your tax service every February 29th between 1 and 4 p.m. Well, only in odd years. So yeah. And as long as it's a Thursday in odd years. So yeah, I could do that. I could definitely do that. February 29th in odd years between 1 and 4 p.m. Got it. Great suggestion, Blue Dragon. I just added the odd years, so I just improved your suggestion. Anyway. Brian Hollywood is here, I hear. So I haven't gotten down that far into the chat, so I'm still trying to catch up. Let's see here. Jeffkey says, set those JSON files aside. If you ever need to rebuild, easy as pie then. Yeah, you know, I need to get with you to find out how I can do that, because I was thinking about that. I'm like, when I was trying to do the Bootstrap files and I was having problems, and then I'm just going to reboot and try it again. But then I lost that JSON file, that config file. And I was like, dang it. Wow. How could I have saved that? And I didn't know that. So yes, I would appreciate you. Just shoot me a DM. Just replace the TX and the Discord webhook details. I am intrigued. And yeah, if you could provide me some information on that, that would be great. That is an awesome tip. But again, I'm still learning. I know JSON is a configuration file. You know, miners use them or can use them, but most people don't use them. Yeah, exactly where to put that file and those types of things. Yeah, if you can provide the instructions, that would be great. I will answer that in good time. Well, I guess I'll just answer that one now. So somebody asked, how many GPUs am I currently farming with? 20, let's see, 20, 27, 33, 35. I have 36, but I'm not mining with my computer. I just finally got tired of the problems it was causing by changing the overclocks on my card, or forgetting to change my overclocks before I go game, and it just wasn't worth it anymore. So decided that I would just stop mining on my computer. All right, Craig Davis says, so 250 gig, then do you recommend a 512 gigabyte drive for a Flux node? No, 256 is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. If you want to run a Fractus node, that's a whole nother story. You'd want to get a some sort of combination of 10 gig drive. If you've got drives that are sitting there, might be a way to use them. Craig Davis, I've got enough for a couple nodes. Haven't had the courage to try yet. I would, if you have the hardware to do it, highly recommend it. Like I said, I like playing with things like this. I like tinkering, and this is definitely kind of the ultimate thing out of my comfort zone. I hadn't used Linux before, or very little. I shouldn't say, you know, I used Unix way back in the day, which is where Linux came from. So I'm somewhat familiar with the command structure, but certainly not to the extent, but definitely I got a little bit of a taste of it doing Hive OS, because I did some commands within it in order to get a Ethernet port running. But definitely got much more involved in it with running nodes. So I like the fact that I've learned it. So, and I finally got to the spot where Brian Hollywood says, happy Monday, Max. Yeah, I unfortunately have to be at work to open up at 5 a.m. Gotta love it, which means I got to be there about 4:30. Gotta love it. Steven Cicero says, sounds like a video idea. Yes, it is a video idea. You know, and funny you mentioned that. Definitely I'm curious, what do you guys, if I was going to do content, what would you guys be looking for? What would you guys find interesting? So you guys should all have my my Discord. If you want, you can put it in the chat, of course. But if you want, put it in, DM it to me. Definitely would love to hear what you guys are looking for. I obviously have some of my own ideas, but just be curious what you guys would be thinking. When you get time this week. When you got time. That's a good one. I might have time towards the end of the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, definitely not going to happen. Maybe Friday. We'll set up a Titan together. Awesome. That would be fun. Absolutely. So Pirate says in Proxmox, I have backup sets. Restoring from a backup over a 10 gigabyte line is quick. Yeah, I don't have a backup set. Probably should. Haven't done that yet. Brian, what about me? Not happy Valentine's Day to me?
Nobody cares about you.
Sunflower Mama says nobody cares about you. Anyway, Kia Enigma Adventures. Do you have any other kinds of nodes that pay for having them? Looking at another node project after setting up 2 Fractus and 1 Cumulus. So I do. I have a pre-search, 2 pre-search nodes actually, and actually have them set up on Flux. So cost me less than 2 Flux a month. It's really cheap. I think it's even cheaper than that. I think when I did it the last time where I renewed it, it was like less than 8 for a whole year. Again, I could be wrong on the number, and that's the other thing. Now, when you run nodes on Flux, you can extend them for a full year. So at least you won't forget to renew it for at least a year. When I was doing it every month, I was managing to just remember just before. I'd be like, oh, damn, did I miss it? Now, at least I know sometime January next year, I better be, remembering to extend my pre-search nodes. But yeah, that's been going well. I haven't actually checked it recently. I've just been kind of letting it run. I know sometimes they will actually go down. Let me see here. I'm actually going to look it up since I haven't looked at it in quite a while. It appears like it is still running. Let me do a quick refresh. At least I thought I did a refresh. It doesn't appear that it is refreshing, but I can tell by the unclaimed pre-earned that I'm just looking to see if there are anything in here that is doxing. And I don't think it is. So let me bring this over here. There's really not much to see. So
Yep, we need a pre-search video right now.
we need a pre-search video right now. All right. Well, I will. I'll get right on that. But yeah, I will do pre-search video about what it is, what the project is, how it works. I will say adoption of it seems to have stalled a bit. Not really sure why. It's a pretty simple idea. Basically what pre-search is, in very simple terms, is it is an unbiased search, meaning that it checks different search engines to provide search results. And it does that by going out to pre-search nodes who then help to do the search. And those nodes are rewarded in pre-search. So you can also reserve keywords. So if you want to redirect or have like ad space on the search results, you can pay for that space and make sure that your ad shows up with those keywords. And you have to pay in pre-search in order to get that space. So, but anyway, every time you do a search though on pre-search, you get paid in pre. And I believe you have to get up to 1,000 pre before you can actually cash it out. So anyway, not super familiar with it, but it wasn't very expensive, and I really wanted to see if I could get it up and running on Flux, saw if there was any issues. And I'm not saying that there haven't been any issues. There's been the occasional issue. I had one time where one of my pre-search nodes went down and it didn't automatically regenerate. So I just needed to unstake and restake it on a operating node. So it works. You can actually have up to 3 nodes running when you create a pre-search node. And there's plenty of videos out there that tell you exactly how to do that on Flux. So anyway, alrighty. Now I lost my place. Where? Okay, there we go. Sorry. Unbiased like Chat GPT. I don't know how unbiased Chat GPT is, but in this particular case, what they mean by unbiased is that they are taking in information from multiple search engines and displaying all of the results. So therefore, yeah, you might be getting a certain bias from Google, and then a certain bias from Yahoo, and a certain bias from another search engine, but at least you're getting all of it consolidated. So hopefully you're getting it with all of it put together. Hopefully you're getting something less biased. So that's the idea behind it. Let's see here. Let me scroll back up. Steven Cicero says, what size hard drive do you have in your Proxmox server, and how many nodes are running on it? So I have 1 terabit drive in it, and I have 4 nodes running on it. So basically my daughter had a AMD 2700 Ryzen 5 2700 sitting around not doing anything. Said, hey, you mind if I build this into a server? She's like, go for it. Not doing anything with it. Don't plan on doing anything with it. None of my friends want it, so you're good. I'm like, okay, cool. So use that, got a hard drive, got a case. Well, that's what I have behind me. Definitely enjoyed building it. And yeah, so I put a 1 terabyte NVMe, totally overkill. Could have just used a basic SSD instead, but wanted to make it nice and clean and have plenty of space for Fractus drives if I wanted to do that. So we'll see. We shall see. If I need better upload in order to be able to do that though. So right now I can't. But anyway, so 1 terabit drive, 32 gigs of RAM, and 8 cores, 16 threads. So each one of the Cumulus nodes has 2 cores with 2 threads each. So total of 4 threads. So yeah. And it's honestly, that runs more reliably and is easier to manage than my other, especially my Raspberry Pi nodes. Raspberry Pi nodes, they're a great idea. I will just say, after having the 2 medium form factor computers that I got from the HPs and doing the Proxmox server, they are way more reliable than that Raspberry Pi. Every once in a while, the Raspberry Pi will be like, yeah, I just don't feel like operating. So you have that. So just, what do you expect? I mean, it's a mini computer. Yeah. Anyway. All right, let me move on to the next one. Second TL, the JSON install would be great. Love to learn that option. Yeah, maybe we could both make an appointment with Jeff Key and we can both learn that together. That'd be awesome. Rondi's driving home from work. Yes, do not text and drive, Mr. Rondi. I know he is. He should not be. Yeah, maybe using voice. Yeah, that's the ticket. He's using voice. I just don't want him to see him get a ticket like Red Panda did that one time. Anyway, Geek of All Trades, for $20 per month, you could ship it to Hawk Mining and Crypto and let the Mining King deal with the headache. Hawk won't be working on IPs. Yes, I could do that. Like I said, I'm like Chump. I like to have my hardware near me and around me. I like to be able to go look at it operating every once in a while. It just gives me a little bit of peace. So if you're a miner, if you know, I guess is the way I could put it. If you're in it just for the money, and there's nothing wrong with that, I would definitely recommend hosting. But if you're in it for the tech and you like to tinker, and yeah, that's me. So I like to have my hardware near me. All righty. Let's see. I'm looking for tags. Geek of all trades. ChatGPT has a 2021 database limit. Do you remember 2021? Do you really want to rehash that mess? Just use Brave and DuckDuckGo. Yeah. But does Brave and DuckDuckGo have AI in them? I didn't think that they did, but Ronnie, RIP Raspberry Pi nodes, LOL. Yeah, I may repurpose mine eventually. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided. I want to get up to the 8th node, and I have enough for 8 nodes, but including my 2 Raspberry Pis. So the one I currently have unplugged, I'll definitely use for that 8th node, at least for now, and we'll see how it goes. Ronnie, we need a moment of silence for the Raspberry Pi. Bacon, Eggs, and Hash says, how much does it cost you for your upload speed? So, again, my upload speed technically is 35 megabits per second. That's what's in my package. What I end up getting is somewhere between 41, 43, somewhere around there. What I pay per month is $50. $50 flat, at least starting now. I think Comcast is feeling the pressure from fiber. And so they're trying to get people locked in with Comcast and saying, hey, look, we were upfront. We lowered your price before we had to. You know, they don't want to be responsive when the fiber's available. And now you're saying, well, will you stay with us if you lower us to $50? They don't want to be that. They want to be ahead of the game. So I respect them for that. I think that's a good move. Veteran Miner, good to see you. Let's see here. Game of Smoking Dan. I got 2 AMD FX CPUs to turn into nodes. A 4100 and 8350. Just need a PSU SSD plus the Flux if doing a Flux node, as well as better internet. Yeah, that's a lot of things. But yeah, one thing at a time. If you've got the ability to get the better internet at any time, then obviously you can do that last. Just get all the other stuff first. I'm not sure if the Flux nodes can run on a 4100 and 8350. Now, what's interesting is that I believe in the on the tool, which I would show, except I don't have the ability to do a private mode where I can get rid of my IP addresses and my wallet. So I can't really show that. Anyway, but I believe that there's a place in here. Is it under guides? Let's see here. VPS option, hardware, seed hardware, benchmarks. I think it's under benchmarks. Yeah, here it is, CPU list. Yeah, if you go up into that tool, up in the upper left, there's guides, or upper right, I should say, there's guides. And in one of those, it's benchmarks for hardware. So let's take a look. FX 8350, 8350 is that, and the 4100 are both okay for Cumulus. The 8350 is actually good for Nimbus. Interesting, because it's 8 cores, 8 threads. You get away with that with Nimbus. Interesting. So actually, yeah, as I grow, I eventually plan on transitioning into the next tier to Nimbus as my amount of Flux grows. It's going to be a while. It's going to take some time. Probably will take a collateral halving in order for me to get to that point. But I do plan on continuing to go to upper tiers. So that Proxmox server behind me, I'll be able to change it up, get some additional RAM, basically make it so it could actually be 2 Nimbus nodes, I believe. Just need to get enough memory. I have enough hard drive space already. Yes, Rodney, shh. I'm running 7. So no, the answer to your question is no, I'm not running 8 nodes with Xfinity 40 megabits upload. No, I'm not. Let's see. And then Bacon, Eggs, and Hash. Are you running any servers, Max, or no? Well, like I said, I'm not running any, 1U servers, nothing like that. I'm not running anything like that right now. Like I said, if I didn't have the processor sitting around, I would have gotten a server instead. But I was kind of like, I want to get this processor running, be kind of fun, because I like to do things a little different, just to show that things can be done multiple different ways. Everybody was getting their servers and running their Flux on them. I was like, you can just get a basic PC. In fact, if you need a processor for one of these, the best thing to get is probably a 5700G. You can run any type of node on it, and they're pretty cheap. Hell, you get a 4750 if you can get one. Let's see what else. And I think that's pretty much from, 5600G is only 6 cores, so you can only run up to a Nimbus on it. Not a Stratus, so you won't be able to run as many nodes on it. But 5700G, you got 8 cores, 16 threads, and obviously and the other really good thing about it is it has a built-in graphics into it, so you don't have to worry about going to, like what I did. I grabbed a GPU out of one of my mining rigs, stuck it in here just so I could get it up and running, get to the point where I could have it connect to the network, and then run it that way, and then just took the GPU out and then just ran it remotely. So that's where I'm at right now. All right. Zapirate says, try to look for ECC UDIM RAM if you can find them cheap. Works fine on Ryzen CPUs. Interesting. I'll have to keep that in mind when the time comes. How many nodes could I run off of 1 gig sync fiber? So if you're talking about 1 gig up and down, you could run, just look at the Flux node site and, the Flux site, and it will tell you, but I know for Cumulus nodes, it's 25 megabits per second up. So on that, you're looking at 40. You could run 40 nodes. Now, with that said, you could run 40 nodes if you had 5 IP addresses, because you can only have 8 nodes per IP address. So anyway, and that's the one I'm most familiar with is Cumulus, because that's what I run. I don't remember off the top of my head what the upload requirement is for Nimbus, so not sure. Geek of all trades. Just get a Threadripper Pro 3995WX, 64 cores, 128 threads. Hey, maybe that'll be my next build in my dreams. I'm not willing to pay that much for a processor and motherboard. Plus, I have no need for that kind of compute power. Let's see. Yeah, Second TL says, would love a Threadripper. Alrighty, guys. Well, I've been going for an hour and 10 minutes. I'm trying to think if you guys have any final questions for me. I'm going to wrap it up because I do need to get some sleep tonight. I might play a little bit of COD tonight, but I'm definitely not playing as long as I did last night. That's for sure. Trying to think if there was anything else that was an update. I feel like there was something I was missing. Oh, I did remember. There was one thing. So in the Chicago area, it's kind of warm. So actually, right after I get off this stream, I am going to go put the window fan back in and cool it off downstairs a bit, because it's getting a little toasty down there. It's about 85 degrees in the basement, which means it's about 79 degrees upstairs. Not the best for sleeping. So we're going to cool it off a bit downstairs and see if we can cool it off a bit. $4.99 Threadripper fun, just because. Well, thank you, Brian Hollywood, for the $4.99 super chat. I very much appreciate that. Oh yes, thank you, Hawk. I forgot. You know me. So yes, we were just talking about, a good place to house your hardware. So yes, if I didn't love having my hardware close by and close to my heart, Terra is a great place to host. I've been watching Hawk and the whole Terra, both Mining King as well as Mike at GPU Risers, watching their journey and with close attention. And it's been amazing to watch that journey of them turning this old switching station, AT&T switching station, into a full-fledged data center. And yeah, it's really amazing to see the hard work they've put in and seeing it come to fruition. So yeah, and they now have a new website, so go check it out. They definitely want to get to 500 kilowatts as quickly as possible, so that they can get to the lower price per kilowatt hour that they gain once they hit that mark. Wow, thank you, Geek of All Trades. Just gifted 5 max voltage mining and crypto memberships to Golden Wolf, Cherish, Diesel 846. By the way, welcome Diesel. I did not see you here before. Guillaume Plouf. Hopefully I didn't butcher that name too much. Guillaume, sorry. Guillaume Plouf. And then King Mining as well. So congratulations all who won a membership to my channel. Definitely appreciate that, Geek of All Trades, as well as I'm sure they do as well. Definitely make sure that you link your YouTube to your Discord. So I do have a members only Discord channel within Misfit Mining called OnlyFlans. So check it out. And let's see, was there anything else I was tagged in? There you go. Yeah, so go check it out. If you're curious, create an account, check it out. I mean, what harm could it do? You know, definitely it's a really, really good option. And yes, and he's giving me credit for it, and I appreciate that. We talked about, you know, what sets them apart. And I said, honestly, it's because I know you guys care. I said, I trust you. I said, and that trust as a service, it matters. And he's like, trust as a service. I love that. I'm going to use that. And I'm like, go ahead. So anyway, but it does really matter. They're not making you put an arm and a leg up in order to start, which some of the others are like, you got to prepay everything because they don't trust anybody, which I kind of get why the other places do that. But, you know, this is, you know, he's looking, you know, the company's looking to gather people from the community, that hopefully more people that they trust, and help grow the company as a whole, and get to the point where everybody benefits from this. So anyway, yep, he's Hawk's stressed and quite busy, and I'm sure he wouldn't have it any other way. That is for sure. Yeah, TAS instead of SAS. Brian Hollywood, what's hosting? Did he spell it wrong on purpose?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Got it. Brian Hollywood's why I love you. You're just as pedantic as I am. There you go.
Well, he put up a link and then he spelled it wrong. So
he spelled the link wrong too?
Yeah.
Oh, he did. I see that.
He fixed it.
I know he did. I see that he fixed that. Anyway. Alrighty, guys. Well, again, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it as always. And like I said, you have ideas for videos, send them to me. Don't send them to Hobbyist. Is Hobbyist still here? Anyway. Anyway. Alrighty, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You guys all have a wonderful night.